What if some of your white blood cells are not normal anymore, and your sleep and exercise habits may affect how fast they spread? That sounds scary, but stay with me. This is not science fiction. It is a real aging process researchers are actively studying right now, in real people, with real blood work, not in some lab experiment far removed from everyday life. When I say mutant, I do not mean you have cancer. I do not mean something dangerous is definitely happening inside you right now. I mean some blood cells can pick up small genetic changes as we age, the way almost every part of an aging body picks up small changes over time, undetected, without anyone noticing. Let's clear that up right away before we go any further into this, because that word alone can send people into a panic they don't actually need to feel. The simple setup, and I promise this part isn't complicated at all. Your blood-making cells live in your bone marrow, and they divide constantly to make new blood cells, day and night, without a single break, keeping your entire blood supply running. Every division carries a tiny chance of a small mistake, a mutation, purely by chance. Most of these mistakes do nothing at all, your body just moves past them like they never happened, no different than any other tiny error your body corrects daily. But sometimes, one changed cell makes copies of itself. That group of copies is called a clone. That's actually where the name comes from, clonal, as in a clone. You do not need to remember the term clonal hematopoiesis at all, not even a little. Just remember this, one changed blood-making cell can sometimes create a family of similar changed cells, quietly, in the background, over years, without announcing itself. Here's why this matters, and sit with this for a second. This matters because some changed blood cells may produce a little more inflammation than normal cells do, and inflammation is one of the hidden forces linked to artery plaque, heart disease, and aging in general, across nearly every system in your body. You would not feel this happening. You would not see it in the mirror. There's no symptom to point to. That is why the research is so interesting, and honestly, a little unsettling too, because it's happening completely below the surface. And the strangest part is this: exercise may not just help your muscles or help you lose weight, it may actually help change the environment inside your bone marrow itself, somewhere most people never think to consider. Let's picture this simply, because the image really does make this click. Think of your bone marrow like a blood cell factory running around the clock. Most production lines inside it are completely normal, running the way they're supposed to. No issues, no drama, but one line has a small mistake built into it, sitting there unnoticed. If the factory is calm, that line may stay small, producing its share and nothing more, blending in with everything else. But if the factory is inflamed and stressed, running hot for too long, that line may get more fuel, more resources, and start growing faster than the rest of the floor around it, slowly taking up more space than it should. But here's the part most people miss. The mutation is not always the danger. The environment around it may be the real issue, the actual thing worth paying attention to. Here's the real villain of this whole story. And it's not the mutated cell itself, it never really was. It's low-grade inflammation, running quietly in the background of your body for years at a time. The problem is not that some blood cells mutate. Small changes can happen with age. That's just ordinary biology, nothing unusual. The problem is when chronic inflammation gives the wrong cells an advantage over everything else in the factory, tipping a balance that should have stayed even. So here's the map for the rest of this video, in 3 simple parts, so you always know exactly where we are. First, what these changed blood cells actually are. Second, why inflammation may help them grow faster than they normally would. And third, how sleep and exercise may push that internal environment back toward balance, the way it's supposed to be. If this is the kind of research you want to understand better, this channel covers exactly that. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. It takes 2 seconds, and it means a lot to the channel. Sleep enters this story more directly than most people expect. When you sleep badly once, your body can usually recover just fine, no lasting harm done. No reason to worry about a single rough night that happens to everyone occasionally. But when sleep is short, broken, or irregular night after night, week after week, month after month, your body may stay stuck in a low-grade alarm state that never fully switches off, even during the day. That alarm state is exactly where inflammation tends to rise and stay elevated, building in the background, without a single obvious symptom to point to. Short sleep, broken sleep, irregular sleep timing, late-night screen use, poor deep sleep, these all feed into the exact same pattern, reinforcing each other over time, one bad night making the next one more likely too. Deep sleep also supports the body's nighttime cleaning and repair systems. You can think of it like a maintenance crew that works best when the building is quiet and nobody's interrupting them every hour. Interrupt that crew often enough, night after night, and the cleanup simply doesn't get finished properly, leaving a bit more mess behind each time. And this is where exercise becomes more than weight loss, more than just a number on a scale you check every morning. Exercise is not only about burning calories or losing weight. That's the surface-level story most people hear and stop at. It's one of the signals that tells your immune system to calm down and organize itself properly, almost like a reset button your body responds to every time you move. Regular moderate exercise may support lower inflammation, better blood sugar control, healthier blood vessels, and a calmer overall internal environment for everything happening inside you, including your bone marrow, sitting beneath the surface, doing its work without you ever thinking about it. To be clear, and I want to say this directly so there's no confusion, exercise does not remove mutant cells, and it doesn't prevent cancer. That's not what the research shows, and I won't pretend otherwise just to make this sound more exciting or dramatic than it actually is. So, what does the research show? CRP and interleukin-6 are simply signs of inflammation in the body. Doctors can measure them with a blood test. Think of them like warning lights on a car dashboard. Higher levels may mean the body is under stress. Studies suggest that people who sleep poorly and do not move much often have higher inflammation levels. They may also develop more changes in their blood cells over time. People who sleep regularly and stay physically active usually show lower and more stable inflammation levels in repeated blood tests. One important note before we finish, and I want to say this clearly rather than rushing past it. This video is general educational information, not personal medical advice. Your blood is being rebuilt every single day, inside a factory you never see, listening quietly to how you sleep and how you move, whether you realize it or not.